against you. Many older adults begin taking magnesium glycinate because they hear that magnesium plays an important role in sleep quality, muscle relaxation, and nervous system balance. Magnesium itself is an essential mineral involved in more than 300 biochemical reactions in the human body. These reactions influence processes such as muscle contraction, nerve signaling, blood sugar regulation, and the production of cellular energy. Because of these widespread roles, magnesium has been widely discussed in health research and public health guidance. Organizations such as the National Institutes of Health explain that magnesium participates in enzymatic reactions that allow the body to convert food into energy and maintain proper nerve and muscle function. Similarly, information published by Harvard Health Publishing describes magnesium as a cofactor for many enzymes, meaning it helps activate biological processes that the body depends on every day. Magnesium glycinate is one of several forms of magnesium available as a supplement. It is magnesium bound to the amino acid glycine, which is often chosen because it is considered relatively gentle on the digestive system compared with some other forms. For this reason, many people, especially older adults, choose magnesium glycinate when they want to support relaxation or overall wellness. However, a common misunderstanding occurs when people assume that simply taking the supplement automatically ensures the body will use it effectively. Human physiology is more complex than that. Nutrient absorption and utilization depend heavily on the environment within the digestive system and on other factors such as diet, lifestyle habits, and the presence of other nutrients. Research summaries in databases like PubMed often emphasize that nutrient bioavailability, the degree to which a nutrient is absorbed and used, can vary depending on timing, interactions with other compounds, and individual physiology. For example, minerals frequently compete for absorption pathways in the intestines. This means that if multiple mineral supplements are taken together, the body may absorb smaller amounts of each one. Another reason magnesium use can feel inconsistent relates to changes that occur with age. According to health information provided by the Mayo Clinic and other clinical education sources, digestion and nutrient absorption can shift gradually over time. Stomach acid levels, gut motility, and overall metabolic efficiency may change, which can influence how nutrients from food and supplements are processed. This does not mean supplements cannot be useful. Rather, it highlights the importance of context. A supplement works within the body's larger system of nutrition, hydration, sleep, and daily activity. If that system is not balanced, the supplement alone may not create the expected effect. Another factor that often goes unnoticed is lifestyle rhythm. The body operates through internal biological clocks that regulate sleep cycles, hormone release, digestion, and energy levels throughout the day. When these rhythms are disrupted by irregular sleep, high stress, or inconsistent meal patterns, the body may respond differently to nutrients. Health organizations such as Cleveland Clinic often emphasize that overall lifestyle patterns, including sleep habits, diet quality, and physical activity, play a major role in how nutrients support the body. In other words, magnesium does not function in isolation. It interacts with many other systems that influence how effectively it contributes to normal physiological processes. Understanding these factors helps explain why some people feel magnesium supplements are helpful while others feel little difference. The key idea is not that magnesium glycinate is ineffective, but that its impact depends on how it fits into a person's broader lifestyle and nutritional environment. By paying attention to habits such as meal timing, stress management, and the combination of supplements taken together, individuals can better understand how nutrients interact within the body. Scientific and educational resources from institutions like the National Institutes of Health, Harvard Health Publishing, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, and PubMed collectively emphasize this broader perspective. Nutrients support health most effectively when they are considered as part of an integrated system rather than as isolated solutions. Magnesium functions inside the body as part of a complex network of nutrients, hormones, and biological systems rather than working independently. In simple terms, magnesium acts like a quiet assistant in many chemical reactions that keep the body operating smoothly. It helps regulate muscle contractions, nerve communication, blood pressure balance, and energy production within cells, because these processes require coordination between multiple nutrients. Magnesium constantly interacts with other minerals such as calcium and potassium, as well as vitamins like vitamin D. Educational resources from the Cleveland Clinic explain that minerals in the body often act in partnership, helping maintain electrolyte balance and proper muscle and nerve activity. This means the presence or absence of one mineral can influence how another functions. For example, calcium is involved in muscle contraction, while magnesium helps muscles relax after contraction, so both minerals participate in the same physical process but perform different roles. When these minerals are balanced, the body's systems tend to function more smoothly. Magnesium also depends on proper absorption within the digestive system before it can participate in these processes. After magnesium enters the stomach and small intestine, it must pass through specialized transport channels in the intestinal lining in order to enter the bloodstream. Once in circulation, it can be distributed to tissues such as muscles, bones, and nerves. Scientific information compiled by the National Institutes of Health notes that magnesium absorption can vary depending on dietary patterns and the presence of other nutrients. For instance, when several mineral supplements are consumed at the same time, they may compete for similar absorption pathways in the intestines. This does not mean they cannot be absorbed, but it can reduce the efficiency with which each mineral enters the bloodstream. This competition is one reason nutrition experts often discuss nutrient timing and balanced intake rather than relying on large amounts of multiple supplements simultaneously. Another factor affecting magnesium's role in the body involves the body's energy and stress systems. Magnesium participates in many enzymatic reactions related to cellular energy production, including those that generate adenosine triphosphate, ATP, the molecule that stores and transfers energy within cells. Because of this, magnesium is closely connected to how the body handles physical activity, recovery, and daily energy use. Information from Harvard Health Publishing explains that magnesium serves as a cofactor in hundreds of enzymatic reactions, many of which support metabolism and nervous system signaling. These biochemical reactions require a balanced internal environment. When the body experiences high levels of stress, hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline rise, shifting the body into a more alert and active state. During this time, relaxation-related processes may become less dominant, which can influence how the body responds to nutrients associated with calming functions. Sleep patterns also play a meaningful role in this system. The human body follows circadian rhythms, internal biological clocks that regulate sleep, hormone release, digestion, and metabolic activity throughout a 24-hour cycle. Reliable health information from the Mayo Clinic describes how consistent sleep routines support many physiological processes, including hormone balance and nervous system recovery. When sleep patterns become irregular, the body's internal rhythms may shift, affecting how nutrients interact with these systems. Since magnesium is involved in nerve signaling and muscle relaxation, changes in sleep behavior or evening stress levels can influence how people perceive its effects. Overall, the way magnesium functions in the body highlights an important concept in nutrition science. Nutrients rarely act alone. Instead, they operate within a larger network that includes other minerals, dietary habits, stress levels, physical activity, and daily biological rhythms. Medical education resources and research databases, such as PubMed, frequently emphasize that nutrient bioavailability and physiological impact depend on this broader context. Understanding magnesium within this interconnected system helps explain why lifestyle factors, such as meal timing, balanced nutrition, and consistent sleep, can influence how effectively the body uses essential minerals. A common issue that many people do not realize involves taking multiple mineral supplements at the same time, which can influence how effectively the body absorbs each one. Magnesium glycinate is often chosen as a supplement because it combines magnesium with the amino acid glycine, a structure that may be easier for the digestive system to tolerate compared with some other forms. However, even when a form of magnesium is considered gentle or well absorbed, the timing in combination with other nutrients can still affect how much the body ultimately uses. The digestive system has specific pathways that transport minerals from the intestines into the bloodstream. These pathways are limited, meaning several minerals may compete for access to the same transport mechanisms. When several supplements are taken together, the body may not absorb them all equally, which can make some nutrients less available for biological processes. Educational information from the National Institutes of Health explains that minerals such as magnesium, calcium, iron, and zinc share overlapping absorption pathways in the small intestine. When they are consumed in large amounts at the same time, the body may prioritize certain minerals while absorbing smaller amounts of others. This competition occurs because minerals with similar chemical properties often rely on related transport proteins in the intestinal lining. When these proteins are busy moving one mineral into the bloodstream, fewer channels remain available for others at that same moment. Scientific research summaries available through the PubMed frequently discuss mineral-mineral interactions, describing how nutrients can either support or interfere with each other depending on the amounts and timing involved. For example, calcium and magnesium both play important roles in muscle and nerve function, yet they may compete for absorption when taken simultaneously in high supplemental amounts. This does not mean the body cannot absorb both minerals, but it highlights why nutrient balance and timing are often emphasized in nutrition education. Another reason this situation is common is the way many people organize their daily supplement routine. To simplify things, individuals often place multiple pills in a single container or pill organizer and take them together at the same time each day. This habit is convenient and helps maintain consistency, but from a biological perspective, it can create an environment where several nutrients are competing in the digestive tract at once. Healthcare education sources from the Mayo Clinic explain that nutrient absorption depends not only on what is consumed, but also on the conditions present in the digestive system at that time, including the presence of other nutrients and the type of meal eaten. When many supplements are taken together, the body must process them simultaneously, which can influence how efficiently each one is absorbed. Age can also make this interaction more noticeable. As people grow older, subtle changes in digestion, stomach acid production, and intestinal efficiency can occur. Information provided by the Cleveland Clinic notes that nutrient absorption may gradually shift with age, meaning the body may become slightly less efficient at extracting certain vitamins and minerals from food and supplements. Because of this, timing and balance may become more important for older adults who are trying to maintain consistent nutrient levels. Overall, these interactions highlight a broader principle emphasized by nutritional science. Nutrients function within a complex system rather than in isolation. Magnesium, calcium, iron, zinc, and other minerals all contribute to essential biological processes such as bone health, nerve signaling, and energy metabolism. However, the body's ability to use them depends on absorption, transport, and metabolic balance. Resources from institutions like the National Institutes of Health, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, and research databases such as PubMed consistently explain that nutrient interactions are a normal part of human physiology. Understanding these interactions can help people recognize why the timing and combination of supplements may influence how effectively the body utilizes important minerals like magnesium. As people grow older, the body gradually undergoes natural physiological changes that can influence how nutrients are digested, absorbed, and used. These changes are not necessarily harmful. They are simply part of the normal aging process. However, they can make timing, nutrition quality, and lifestyle patterns more important than before. One common change involves digestion. The stomach produces acid that helps break down food and release nutrients so they can be absorbed in the small intestine. Over time, stomach acid production may decline slightly in some individuals, which can affect how efficiently certain minerals and vitamins are released from food and supplements. Educational information from the NHS explains that digestive efficiency can change with age. meaning the body may process nutrients somewhat differently than it did in earlier decades. When digestion slows or becomes less efficient, nutrients that once were easily absorbed may require more supportive conditions, such as balanced meals and appropriate spacing between supplements. Another factor that can influence nutrient use is the function of the gastrointestinal tract itself. The intestines are responsible for absorbing minerals and vitamins into the bloodstream through specialized cells lining the intestinal wall. As the body ages, these processes can become slightly less efficient in some individuals. Information provided by Harvard Health Publishing describes how aging can affect nutrient metabolism and absorption, partly due to changes in digestive secretions, gut motility, and the microbiome. The gut microbiome, the community of microorganisms living in the digestive tract, plays a role in digestion and overall health. When the microbial balance shifts, it can influence how nutrients are processed and how efficiently the body extracts them from food. This does not mean older adults cannot absorb nutrients effectively, but it highlights why balanced dietary habits and regular eating patterns become increasingly important with age. Stress and hormone regulation also influence how the body responds to nutrients such as magnesium. The human body releases stress hormones like cortisol when facing physical or emotional stress. These hormones prepare the body for action by increasing alertness, heart rate, and energy availability. However, prolonged stress can shift the body away from relaxation-focused processes that support rest and recovery. Educational materials from the Cleveland Clinic explain that chronic stress can affect sleep patterns, digestion, and overall physiological balance. Since magnesium participates in nerve signaling and muscle relaxation pathways, the body's stress state may influence how individuals perceive its effects. For example, someone experiencing high levels of stress late in the evening may have difficulty entering the calm physiological state associated with restful sleep, even if magnesium is present in the body. Sleep patterns themselves are another critical factor. Humans operate according to circadian rhythms, biological cycles that regulate sleep, hormone release, body temperature, and metabolic processes over a 24-hour period. Reliable medical education from the Mayo Clinic explains that consistent sleep schedules help maintain these rhythms and support many bodily systems, including digestion and metabolism. When sleep routines become irregular, circadian rhythms may shift, potentially influencing how the body processes nutrients and regulates hormones involved in rest and energy balance. Physical activity and circulation also contribute to how nutrients support the body after age 60. Muscles, bones, and nerves rely on consistent blood flow to deliver oxygen and minerals where they are needed. Gentle movement such as walking, stretching, or strength exercises can support circulation and overall metabolic health. Nutrition and aging resources frequently emphasize that lifestyle factors, including regular activity, balanced meals, hydration, and stress management, work together to support nutrient utilization. Research discussions found through PubMed often highlight how aging interacts with nutrition, showing that the body's response to nutrients depends on many variables rather than a single supplement. Understanding these interconnected factors helps explain why older adults may benefit from paying closer attention to daily routines, meal timing, and overall lifestyle habits when thinking about nutrients like magnesium. Many older adults who report feeling consistent benefits from nutrients such as magnesium often share a similar approach to daily health routines. They treat supplements as one small part of a broader lifestyle pattern rather than relying on them alone. Nutrition science frequently emphasizes that the body functions best when nutrients come from a combination of balanced meals, healthy routines, and supportive habits. When supplements are integrated into a steady rhythm of eating, sleeping, and moving, they are more likely to fit naturally into the body's physiological systems. Educational information from the Harvard Health Publishing explains that supplements are designed to complement a healthy diet, not replace it. In other words, vitamins and minerals work most effectively when the body already receives a variety of nutrients from whole foods. This perspective is important because magnesium participates in many metabolic reactions that depend on other nutrients being present in the body at the same time. Food sources of magnesium provide a helpful example of how nutrients naturally exist within balanced dietary patterns. Magnesium occurs in many plant-based foods such as leafy green vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, and whole grains. These foods not only provide magnesium but also contain fiber, antioxidants, and additional vitamins that support overall health. Guidance from the World Health Organization emphasizes the value of diverse diets that include plant foods, whole grains, and healthy fats because they provide a broad range of nutrients that work together inside the body. When magnesium is consumed through food, it is accompanied by other compounds that support digestion and absorption. Even when people choose to take magnesium supplements, maintaining these dietary patterns helps create an internal environment where minerals can be used more effectively. Another factor often observed in strong and active older adults is regular physical movement. Exercise does not directly supply magnesium, but it helps maintain many systems that rely on minerals, including muscle contraction, nerve communication, and circulation. Reliable medical education resources from the Cleveland Clinic explain that moderate physical activity supports cardiovascular health, muscle strength, and metabolic balance. These systems influence how nutrients travel through the bloodstream and reach the tissues that require them. For example, when circulation is supported by regular movement, nutrients transported in the blood, including minerals, can be delivered more efficiently to muscles, bones, and organs. Physical activity also helps regulate blood sugar and energy metabolism, processes in which magnesium participates as a cofactor in enzymatic reactions. Sleep and evening routines represent another important lifestyle element. The human nervous system naturally cycles between periods of alertness and relaxation across the day. Maintaining calm evening habits, such as reducing bright screens, allowing time to unwind, and following a consistent sleep schedule, can support the body's natural transition into rest. Educational materials from the Mayo Clinic explain that consistent sleep habits help regulate circadian rhythms and hormone patterns that influence recovery, digestion, and energy balance. Because magnesium participates in nerve signaling and muscle relaxation, these nightly routines can influence how the body responds to nutrients associated with relaxation and recovery. Daily rhythm also includes the timing and spacing of meals and supplements. Instead of consuming many nutrients simultaneously, some individuals prefer to spread them throughout the day alongside meals. This approach may help reduce the likelihood of minerals competing for the same absorption pathways in the digestive tract. Research discussions accessible through the PubMed often describe how nutrient interactions can influence absorption efficiency. By spacing intake and maintaining balanced meals, individuals may support a more stable nutritional environment. Overall, health organizations and research institutions consistently highlight the same principle. Long-term wellness usually develops from consistent habits, nutritious food, regular movement, restorative sleep, and mindful supplement use, rather than from relying on a single nutrient alone. Magnesium glycinate is widely discussed as a supplemental form of magnesium because it combines magnesium with the amino acid glycine, which can make it easier for some individuals to tolerate from a digestive standpoint. However, understanding magnesium within the broader context of overall health is essential. Nutrients do not operate in isolation. Instead, they function as part of an interconnected network involving diet, metabolism, physical activity, sleep patterns, and stress regulation. Health organizations frequently emphasize that supplements should support a balanced lifestyle rather than replace it. Information from the National Institutes of Health explains that magnesium is an essential mineral involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions in the human body, including processes related to nerve signaling, muscle contraction, and energy metabolism. Because magnesium participates in so many functions, the body's overall environment, such as nutrition quality and lifestyle habits, can influence how effectively it is utilized. For this reason, many healthcare resources encourage individuals to think about supplements as one component of a larger health strategy. Educational materials from Harvard Health Publishing note that dietary supplements are intended to complement a nutritious diet rather than act as a standalone solution. A balanced eating pattern that includes vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, and healthy fats naturally provides a range of nutrients that work together within the body. Magnesium obtained from food sources is accompanied by fiber, plant compounds, and other vitamins that support digestion and metabolic processes. Even when supplements are used, these dietary patterns create a supportive internal environment for nutrient absorption and utilization. Another factor to consider is the body's natural biological rhythm. Human physiology follows circadian cycles that influence sleep, hormone release, digestion, and energy use across the day. Reliable medical education from the Mayo Clinic explains that consistent daily routines, especially regular sleep and wake times, help maintain these internal rhythms. When circadian patterns remain stable, many physiological systems function more efficiently. Since magnesium participates in processes related to nerve function and muscle relaxation, lifestyle patterns that support restorative sleep may influence how people perceive the role of magnesium within their routine. Stress management also plays an important role in maintaining overall physiological balance. The body responds to stress by activating hormonal pathways that increase alertness and energy availability. While these responses are useful in short-term situations, long periods of stress can affect digestion, sleep quality, and metabolic processes. Educational guidance from the Cleveland Clinic describes how chronic stress may influence many systems in the body, including cardiovascular function and sleep patterns. Since nutrients function within these systems, their effectiveness can be influenced by the body's overall stress level and recovery state. It is also important to recognize that individual health needs vary widely. Age, medical history, medications, diet, and lifestyle all influence how the body processes nutrients. Research literature indexed through PubMed frequently highlights the complexity of nutrient metabolism, noting that absorption and physiological responses can differ significantly between individuals. Because of these variations, general health information should be viewed as educational guidance rather than personalized medical instruction. Health professionals are best equipped to evaluate individual circumstances and provide tailored recommendations when necessary. Overall, scientific and medical institutions consistently communicate the same principle. Maintaining health involves a combination of balanced nutrition, physical activity, restorative sleep, and stress management. Supplements like magnesium glycinate can sometimes play a supportive role within that broader framework, but they work most effectively when integrated into a stable and healthy lifestyle. Understanding this holistic perspective allows individuals to make more informed decisions about how nutrients fit into their daily routines, while recognizing that long-term wellness usually develops through consistent habits and supportive